The IRC. This is not Chapter 5 in your building code book, so be careful, or your textbook. It is out of the IRC, and it relates to building codes as they pertain to floors. So be aware of that. This is the code section of this. Okay. These are some of the topics covered in the code book for floor framing. Of course, we're not going to cover it all. We're just going to cover what we're going to do for the most popular type of floor system out there, which is a wood frame floor. One thing I want to highlight is there is a grade mark on any piece of wood. That grade mark looks something like this here. These little stamps that you see. What that does is it tells us that that wood's suitable to build with a structural element of a home. So, if you see that grade mark, that means you're good to go to use that piece for the structural element of a floor. Without that grade mark, you're not supposed to use that wood for the floor or any structural element in a home. That just says that that's an approved board for that purpose. I'm going to go right to this picture. What I want to show you is framing of braced walls. And what a braced wall is, it means that a wall is supported at the top and at the bottom. So our walls have to be what we call braced. And we do that either through a couple of methods of making sure that we have something solid to nail into on the top and the bottom. Now, sometimes that does take a little work, and you have to go back in your floor system after it's built and add in a couple of blocks here or there, or maybe even a floor joist, depending on what you're trying to achieve. But as long as you have solid framing at the bottom and the top, you have a braced wall. And that's what we're supposed to have, is braced walls. Joists under parallel bearing partitions shall be of adequate size to support the load. Lumber of not less than 2 inches in nominal thickness, space not more than 4 feet. That is exactly what we're saying right here. When we reference the braced wall line. It's just saying that if the wall of the partition is parallel, joists under it shall support the load. Okay. Now, we have a lot of things we have to understand when we do framed openings. And this is a lot of text on the screen, and I'm going to try to make sense of it real fast for you. And what we're looking at is anytime we have a framed opening, in this case you can see a framed opening right here. We have a couple rules we've got to highlight, and those rules are right here, but again, we're going to use this picture to highlight these rules. And what it says is header doubled if more than 4 feet. So if you look at this picture right here, this header gets doubled if it's more than 4 feet in span. Okay. So that is this rule right, oops. That is this rule right here. When the header joist does not exceed 4 feet, the header joist may be a single member. So again, anytime it spans greater than 4 feet, it has to be doubled. This rule right here highlights when the header joist span exceeds 4 feet, the trimmer joist and header joist shall be doubled. So we also have to double the trimmer joists. What are the trimmer joists? Well, let's take a look at this picture. you can see the trimmer joist is this right here, which also gets doubled. And you could look at this picture right here, you can see that they're doubled. And this is also on this side is trimmer joists. And certainly not last, but what it says next is approved hangers, right here. Shall be used for header joist to trimmer joist connection when the header joist exceeds 6 feet. So let's take a look at the picture and let's make sense of that. Okay, 6 feet, and where is the location of these joist hangers?